Good evening, Patriots. This is your American Prayer Warrior, and I have some good news. We definitely need balance in our life, and one of the ways to balance out all of the insanity going on is to share when good things are happening or when there's positive news. So, anyway, it's easy to find positive news when I go to my mailbox. So, I just want to share with you some of the amazing organizations and people out there that are doing good. And so, one of those organizations that I personally give to is the ACLJ. It basically is the positive equivalent to the ACLU. The ACLU is about taking away our freedoms and religious liberties, and the ACLJ is defending them. So anyway, I got some information in the mail from them, and they are currently fighting, trying to stop the Biden administration from trying to get rid of the Hyde Amendment. And the Hyde Amendment is super important because it has basically stopped taxpayer dollars to go directly towards to pay for abortions. And so Biden is trying to undo that and trying to have our tax dollars go to pay for abortions. And they are doing a very good job at fighting for that to stop them. They are also keeping tabs on the Biden administration because they are trying to target Christians and conservatives. And a lot of the people in the other organizations know that they're free to do things a certain way because Biden's in office. And so a lot of times, excuse me, I gotta adjust my camera here. Just Biden being president, like the IRS specifically is targeting Christians again. They literally rejected a Christian organization that sought a tax exempt status, and per the IRS, this is in quotes, Bible teachings are typically affiliated with the Republican Party and candidates. This disqualifies you from exemption, which is insane. So if it's a Christian organization, that automatically assumes that it's politically affiliated with the Republicans, and therefore, because it's a political organization, it's not tax exempt. I mean, it's absolute insanity. So basically, you have to be an atheist in order to get tax exempt. I mean, it's utter insanity. So this ACLJ is a very good organization that's basically out there keeping our government in check. They're basically our government watchdog group. Let's see, what else do they got? They like to send surveys and stuff so that then they can go back to Congress and stuff and say, hey, this is what America wants. This is what America prefers, or what America thinks. And so they sent out this presidential performance review survey and congressional performance review. And it's just got questions. And this is one of the things that you can do to get involved and let your opinions known. You can't make a donation like they request, but you can do the survey, So boom, there you are. You're 55 cents for a stamp. You can let your traditional Christian, Judeo-Christian values known. And then as people send in this information, then they have a tool in their toolbox to say, hey, this is what America is about. They don't want this left as garbage. So I'm very grateful. And so it was really good. I got to fill out the survey. I will send it back, just let them know that I'm not able to donate at this time, but at least they have this information along with, hundreds of thousands of other conservatives voicing their opinion as well. So a lot of people want to know, what can I do? What can I do? I can't do anything. I can't change anything, Right now we're in between, election years and things like that. And so a lot of people just get frustrated because they can't do something. here's a something you can do. Go to aclu.org, give them your name, your address. You'll start receiving mail. You'll hear about what the organization's doing. You'll be kept in the loop on what's going on because the media is lying to you about what's going on. You'll get surveys once in a while that you can fill out in return. That is something, and it may not seem like a big deal, but if everybody does their little part, we can make a difference. So let your voice be heard. aclj.org. They also have a description of some of the things that they do. It's just amazing. They're like doing stuff around the world, defending our nation's sovereignty and trying to secure our borders. They're trying to help with energy independence, protecting the Constitution, preserving our religious freedom, supporting our Israel as our ally against terrorist groups, and things like that. So very good organization. They also have a radio show where you can talk in and ask them questions. So yes, very good organization. They do a lot of amazing work. They do a lot of FOIA requests, which is Freedom of Information Act. And a lot of times they're finding out about corruption because they're doing these FOIAs. And then what they're doing is their legal team combs through all of this, because they don't just give them what they want. They give them that little nugget in like boxes and boxes of information. And then they have to go through it and try to find the specific pieces that could be helpful. And so there's a lot of manpower involved. There's a lot of people involved in making these discoveries known about what's happening. And so it's a very important and very good organization. Right now, they're in the process of suing the Biden administration because the Biden administration is trying to federalize our elections, which is completely unconstitutional. The federal government has no business in our elections. It clearly states in the Constitution that it is state legislature's responsibility. This organization is amazing. They do very good work. So we are glad that they're out there fighting for us. Also, there is the 1776 Project, and I got a letter from Donald Trump Jr. talking about the 1776 Project. Trump got that in there. Unfortunately, Biden undid it. So basically, they started this organization to take on the sinister attacks on our very way of life within our own communities. They basically, these crooks, they're basically coming into our communities, taking over our local school boards, taking it out of the hands of everyday Americans and putting them in these leftists, and then they're slowly indoctrinating our children through what they put into the school system. And this 1776 Project is fighting against getting these leftist school board members out of that school board position and put in conservatives. So for me, this is a super, super groundbreaking thing to be a part of, because not everybody has the skills to run for school board. Not everybody has the time to be intimately involved with the school board, and here's an organization that, you can be a part of to help really fund this groundbreaking grassroots way of rooting this leftist ideology out of our school systems, and unfortunately, we're way past, they've done a lot of damage, so it's going to take a while to root this out of our school system, but we got to start somewhere. It's going to take a few years to get all of those yahoos out of here, but yeah, the 1776 Project is very good. They will work with communities and try to get those crooks out of there and get real conservatives in there that will do us justice. Another really, really awesome organization is the Faith and Freedom Coalition. I just got a congressional scorecard in the mail, which is really awesome. It basically ranks all of the senators and representatives and basically lets you know how their voting record is, and it really helps you know who to vote for, who is standing up for faith and faith values and things like that in our community. It takes a lot of time to put things like this together. They also have descriptions of things that they're voted on. Like right here, it says no taxpayer-funded abortions. That's number one. They talk about, what the roll call was and who voted for what, and very, very important information when you are going to the polls and wanting to know who to vote for, and a lot of people don't want to do the homework, don't want to take the time to do the homework, and this organization does your homework for you, and then it sends it to you in the mail so that you know how to vote for people that share your same values. So I'm very excited about that organization. They also have, let's see here. There's just different people that have vouched for the program, and the different people. President Trump is one of the people that have said good things about, the program, and things like that. So we have that. And then the really important thing that I really like is they have this important action steps, sending you practical everyday things that you can do to get involved. This action step right here, it says write the Democratic senators, and then it lists them, urging them to keep their promise to oppose radical plan by the Democrats to scrap the 184-year filibuster rule. Now they're trying to pack the court. They're trying to make 2 more states in the union, so they have more people on their side, and they're trying to scrap the filibuster. So it's basically they give you the names, the addresses, basically kind of a way to write the letter and what to say. And these are simple things that we can do, to have our voices heard. And if you just think about, even if half the people in this country did this, the shock wave that would run through our leaders would sit up and take notice. And you just got to do your part. And so if you want to check out this organization, they're at www.ffcoalition.com. And you can sign up there and give them your name and address, and you can start receiving information. And they also send surveys as well to basically just take back to Congress and say, hey, this is what the people want. This is what they're thinking. This is what their answers are to these questions. So it's a really important way to have our voices heard in Congress by the people that support us. And then, let's see. Oh yes, finally, the other good news that I have is from the Freedom Alliance. And basically, the Freedom Alliance is helping Christians in the military. It's absolutely insane, but our Defense Department bureaucrats are trying to make it they're trying to stop the military chaplains, which is absolutely insane. It's like chaplains in the military have gone back since day one, and they're basically trying to make it a crime punishable by court-martial and possible imprisonment to talk to your fellow soldier, for a chaplain to talk to fellow soldiers about Christian views. I mean, that's just absolutely insane. It's like telling a church not to preach. And so they're defending chaplains in the military right now who are under attack. They're basically trying to ban what they call as religious proselytizing or religious coercion, which is absolutely insane, because since day one, our chaplains have always been in the field with the soldiers while they're dying, holding their hands, helping them, in their dying hour, or when they're ready to deploy and they have some really tough questions about their faith and what they believe. And they're just searching, they're searching for strength. They're searching for courage. And chaplains are a huge part of the military, and a very good part of the military. And they're attacking them. It's absolutely insane. So this Freedom Alliance is defending the chaplains. The insane part is a lot of members of Congress and the Senate already know that this has been happening. This has been happening for a while. And they're just sitting by and not doing anything. It's absolutely insane. And so I'm very grateful that this organization is there to help our servicemen and women to have access to chaplains in their time of need. So they basically sent something with some information, and then there's a little survey where I can sign my name saying that I agree with all of these things, just as a way to go back and say, no, our people, our citizens support these chaplains, and we don't want them taken out. And so it's just another tool to have, your voice is heard, so these servicemen and women don't feel like they're alone in this attack. That there are citizens that stand behind them and see their job and see their position as valuable. And so I am just so grateful that these organizations exist, because a lot of times we don't hear about them. We just hear about the crazy leftists who are trying to destroy our country. We don't hear on the news about these amazing organizations, and I just feel like it's so important to talk about the people and the organizations that are defending our country, instead of just hearing about how our country is being torn down. So anyway, I'm so glad to bring you this good news, and hopefully you sleep better tonight. I know I do, knowing that there's organizations out there and people that really still hold these traditional Christian views, because so much of our culture is opposite. It leads us to believe that there aren't people out there like that. I started feeling like I was a loner, that I wasn't like the majority of Americans. And the more I get this information, the more I realize, no, the majority of Americans, are conservatives. We're just more soft-spoken. We have a hard time, voicing our opinions. We're a little more skittish. And so this is a safe way that you can let your voice be heard, until you find your courage, to do something crazy like I did. So I made a sign that said the jab, because I found out that there's a whistleblower inside the CDC that says there's over 48,000 people that have died from the jab, the thing they call the vaccine. So I made a big old sign and put at the end of my driveway that says the jab, and it's in quotes, has killed over 48,000 people. And I'm on a busy street, so a lot of people are going to see that sign. And so I'm getting pretty gutsy as I step forward more and more and stand up for my beliefs and stand up for my faith and stand up for what I see as the truth, And maybe you're not called to do that, but maybe you are called to fill out a survey and, maybe give $5 or something like that to an organization that can stand up for America. So anyway, have a good night, and thanks for listening. Oh, yes, and don't forget, you too can be a prayer warrior. Thanks.